expansionary phase, and that's why we have the CEO, Mr. Jonathan Ciano, just to tell us more about this. Jonathan, today we see in the dailies that you are expanding to Tanzania, and you've acquired one store from, what's it called, Smart Life store. So what's the thinking in terms of going into Tanzania?
Thank you very much, Michael. Now, the Uchumi has been growing. We call it growing rather than expanding, and we are taking steps into going into the Eastern African community countries, because that is what the East African Market Protocol dictates. Yeah. Among the markets that we are going to, we have already been into Tanzania. We had one supermarket, and during this year, this calendar year, we have managed to make 5. And the last one, which is Safermat Supermarkets, we bought it a week ago. And when I say buying, it's actually a going concern. Yeah. And the owners were unable to run it because of various reasons, the management reasons. It's in a very lucrative position. Actually, it is one of probably the best where the Class A and Class B customers tend to. Exactly. So as we are talking, refurbishing or changing of the signs to put Uchumi out there is going on with our Uchumi team down in Dar es Salaam.
And just going forward, is it more, are we going to see more of acquisitions in terms of your growth phase, or is this a one-off case just for Tanzania?
Now, acquisition of supermarkets is very delicate because you have to take the right location. Yeah. And in addition to that, how the premises are. So it is normally one-off, but we tend to grow organically in that we go and do analysis of our sites very carefully, yeah, so that we do not get into a situation where you find you don't have customers. Yeah. So it's important to appreciate we are not going to buy supermarkets just like that. Yeah. We would rather go for branches themselves, contrary to others who will buy 5 branches, but you find most likely is only one that is useful. So we tend to be very selective. This is what you call a bird just came to pass when we had something to hit it, and we managed to pick it up.
When you're announcing your full year results, there was some issues with especially your locations in Tanzania and Uganda, with specific kind of dragging down your profitability. Now, when you look at that, you already closed one store down in Uganda. Have the others picked up to a certain level where perhaps you'd actually think of even opening more stores in Uganda?
Lovely. Now, Uchumi operates every branch as a separate entity. Yeah. From 2012, 2013, in fact 2013 to 2014, we have opened 11 branches, and out of those 11 branches, only one that did not come out clear. And the reason it did not come out clear is the owner of the mall was unable to manage it. It was never occupied, and it was in the right location. Yeah. But when you come to mall management, it becomes very, very delicate. Now, that being so, we always take our principles. There's a DNA of Uchumi that if a branch does not make any money, then we don't need to drag it. Let's look at it in another way. Within the East African community, except probably for Tanzania, all the other countries have been dragging in terms of economic growth. Yeah. And when I mean economic growth, life has become very expensive. The other one is the security. The other one, some of our countries have had grants from the Western being withheld. And all those things have tended to affect what you call the luxurious goods. And we are left with people going down to only buy the essentials. The other thing you have in Kampala, which is in fact a very unfortunate phenomenon, is they have built very many malls within the very small town, or small city, and the customers are not growing. So we have changed our strategy in Uganda in that we are not going to open shops in Kampala of big size. Yeah. Instead, we are in fact opening a shop in Western Uganda. We are not changing our ownership in Uganda. In fact, we are rejigging it to make sure you don't go into very big shops within the city center. We opened one in Bale, the other one in Gulu, and the other one is coming in Barara.
So it's just shift from the hypermarts to more
to supermarkets themselves. Yeah. And as we are talking, they are doing quite well. There's the Freedom City that we closed was 5,600 square meters. Yeah. Very beautiful building. But we didn't have other tenants. The tenant mix was not there. And instead of pulling each other with the developer, we said we have a contract, and in the contract we can put it to the end. That's what happened. Right. As we are talking, Uganda is even much better without that one branch. And when we closed it, we opened Bale. Now you can see we have others coming up in Tanzania, because we are looking at our market in a field of 4 countries: Rwanda, Uganda, Kenya, and Tanzania. And Uganda was always one branch.
All right, Jonathan, just to ask you, we've seen in the recent past you've been taking out quite substantial loans, especially with KCB and Coop Bank, and that has been towards, sometimes meeting supply demands, and also one was for more expansion. What's the situation currently with suppliers, and you at good terms in terms of stocking all your shops?
I would want to start with the leverage, the loans. Yeah. There has been misinterpretation, misconception, and misreporting. Yeah. We don't have loans of the kind that the papers have written. Yeah. To make the record straight, the only loans we have are only two. That is the ICDC loan, 150 million, and KCB 450 million, 600 million shillings. That is all the loans that we have. Yeah. Someone went out there and said we have a loan of 2 billion shillings. That is total lie. I want people to appreciate that we don't have that. In terms of Cooperative Bank, it is not a loan. We have actually leased assets from Cooperative Bank, and this is lease and buyback, and it is going to revert to us in 5 years. So we are only paying for hiring of the assets in our new branches. So when someone
and it's not basically for paying suppliers.
It is not a loan. In fact, I would say, as we are talking, we got that money because we had bought the assets when we found it was taking longer.
All right, Jonathan, thank you very much for that. As you heard it from Jonathan Ciano, the money is not actually a loan, and it's not for expansion, and it's basically just to meet certain obligations.